And we're back from outer space. Come in to find you here with that sad look upon your face.
Fuck.
I don't know any of the lyrics, but
But
Also,
you can still throw that bitch back. Go on.
that's very true.
and Fred in the chat right now is saying, "How the heck are you?" I can't believe I said that.
Well, you did. He coined the phrase, or we've coined the phrase. It has been tokened, but not tokenized.
10 seconds in, we've already got a title drop.
That's right.
That's a record.
It's a good thing. Hey, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, welcome to everyone here. This is now the 10th episode on this channel of How the Heck Are You podcast.
So it's like the 21st or 22nd or something altogether, right?
I think so.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, let me check right quick.
Because when we took our big break, we were at like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Hang on. This should have it on here. Where the fuck is it? Because I counted we did 10 on your channel, and then we did 9 on this one, so should be at 20 right now.
Damn. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But for this channel, it's the 10th one, so
Cool.
those
So-
other 10 doesn't matter.
For that anniversary, I say dab pen rib. And congratulations, fellas.
Hell yeah.
They're saying, I watched that Tubi thing based on Depp and Heard. It was both cheesy and Lifetime movie bad, but somehow worse.
Dude, Nikki and I had planned on watching that, but I don't know if we'll waste our lives. I don't know how much more shitty media Nikki can consume without breaking everything in this fucking streaming office. She watched Halloween Ends last night.
My
that bad?
condolences.
Well, without giving up too much, she was very how do you say it, expressive about her displeasure.
Expressive as in breaking every window in the house.
She is a big fan of Halloween. Like, that's for slasher films, that's her number one. So gotta be a bummer. You know, I felt the same way when I saw the Star Wars in 2016. So I mean, I'm not a slasher film / horror film. Like, for me, the scary movies that I like are like Insidious and, like, you know, supernatural shit is more fun for me. But like, so it's more science fiction than anything. I don't like the fucking gore porn and the fucking slasher shit and all that stuff. But for her, like, Halloween is the franchise, you know, and I know how bad it sucks. Like I said, me and my boys got fucking destroyed in anticipation for, you know, the 2016 Star Wars. And as soon as I saw Kylo Ren stop a laser beam mid-flight, I was like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing?
You're like Peter Griffin in the theater. It's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, no, I was like, just looked around at my friends and like, I know we're all stoned out of our gourds right now. Is this happening right now? Yeah.
Well, speaking of tortures and gore porns and such, out of extreme morbid curiosity, I watched the first 2 Traces of Death yesterday.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Again,
Look,
extreme morbid curiosity.
As like a 13-year-old new to the internet with some friends that just want to fuck with somebody, that's a good excuse. But for me, when it comes down to all that kind of shit, it's just like my dad has PTSD, you know? That motherfucker's been through some shit that I don't know what that's like. And I've always been like, damn, I wonder. But at the same time, I don't want to know because I see what it's done to him. And it's just like, there's some shit that should be, you know, if you've got to try to be involved in something to save somebody. For me, I'm steering clear of all of that fucking shit.
Yeah. Well, I just heard that they were like really shitty because of like the narrations and such. That the guy's like overly trying to be scary, like he's trying to be like the Crypt Keeper or something.
Uh-huh.
And some of the things in those movies, while they were real, they didn't really seem as bad as I thought they would be. Probably because I've seen a lot of shit on here before then. But
Yeah. Well, the early internet, dude, you could not avoid a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, there were some real fucking gems back in the day. Like, there's some shit out there that fucking, like, Newgrounds specifically. Just imagine where we would be at with the internet culture had we not had the creators that came from Newgrounds that crossed over and started. I mean, many of them are multimillionaires now. And it started off with like fucking stick figure drawings on Microsoft Paint on Newgrounds. And like talk about shitty voice narration, you couldn't find anything but that on there almost. You know?
Every second video was just Peach hentai collab or some
Dude.
shit.
Or dress up games or like some kind of fucking stupid
Meat,
shit.
meat and fuck.
Or like the death
my
stick
God.
figure battles and shit.
I forgot about Meat and Fuck. I see.
I know. Dude, Newgrounds does not get near enough like praise as it should get. Like the support that website gets, there's a very loyal fan base still on it that are keeping it on live support.
Isn't one
Holy
that
fuck.
went down here recently? It was like fucking mini clip or something went down for good.
Clip, yeah.
It's just totally gone. That's sad, dude. Who remembers having to use proxy servers to get around to playing mini clip in school?
Yeah. Either proxy servers or just like punching some random shit into CMD that you Googled online.
Yeah.
Well. Gwen in the chat says, just hopping by to say hello to you lovely people in the chat. And of course, our lovely three hosts, thank you. Got tennis in 50 minutes, so can't stay for long. Gwen, that's basically how long we do these podcasts anyway, so I think...
Yeah. Tennis is a hard sport, man.
It's very physical.
Well, I mean, it's not like you just hit the ball and then it goes where you want it to either. It's like really fucking difficult to hit with the right amount of power in the right spot with the right like way you're using your wrists and shit. It's like, damn, why this shit's gotta be so fucking complicated?
It's like Steve Smith from American Dad. It's like, eh? Just every time he hits the ball, it's just like, eh?
Nah, I'm more like, God damn it, fuck this.
I mean, you get better and better at it, and at a certain point, I think it's also a lot of just like muscle memory type shit. So.
Mm-hmm.
Fred says he remembers somehow playing Halo on school computers. He doesn't know how he did it.
Oh yeah, we could easily like, we just had USB sticks, and people just put Quake 3 on there, and we just plug them into the school computer, play Quake together.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
I think I heard of like old like MS-DOS games that people brought into work. Didn't they have like a mode specifically where you could type in a command that like hides the game and like looks like you're working?
Yep.
You fucking bastards. I got suspended for looking up Anarchy.
Really?
Yeah, I looked up Anarchy and they were just like, oh, you're looking up Anarchy on our computers? You must be a terrorist. I'm like, a terrorist of what? I'm fucking 12, 11.
I'll terrorize some candy bars.
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking up Anarchy on our computers? Well, fuck you and your Anarchy computers.
Like, the only thing I could terrorize is the goddamn bathroom on Taco Day. But,
Dude, schools tried so hard to keep kids away from websites and video games and all that shit. It didn't work.
No.
It was such shit security.
so
Much
bad.
data was probably leaked.
And also, like, the computer guys for every school, it was like an entire school system had one security guy.
Yeah.
And he's just all the time like,
21-year-old.
yeah. And he's
I know
probably,
computers.
he was probably the one using it for fucking downloading movies and shit.
He's just sitting in the office, BitTorrent open, like...
He was probably looking up porn on there, and then the teacher walks in. It's like, no, I'm just teaching the kids about like anatomy here.
Oh my god, dude. Nikki, can you use your voice in here for a second?
What's up?
Can you tell the story about that teacher in your school having porn on his computer?
Can they hear me?
Can you guys hear that?
Nah.
Can y'all hear me?
I thought you just went silent.
No,
No.
they can't hear you.
Damn it.
Let me try and hoist the microphone over there. Hold on. All right, I'm like a boomstick operator right now.
Did somebody say boom?
Watch
Alright, do
everything
your best.
just fuck
Okay,
off.
can you
chest.
guys hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I have a super raspy voice right now from COVID, but it wasn't my experience. It was my best friend's experience. And we had a football coach slash government teacher who didn't like to teach. And so when we would go to our government class, we would just watch movie trailers like the entire
Just
time
trailers?
that we were in there. But my best friend went to class, and they were all sitting there just talking amongst themselves, and all of a sudden, moaning started playing from
Oh,
his
God.
computer.
Ugh.
And this was before there were memes with like fake porn sounds from them if you accidentally clicked on it or whatever. This was like 2008. And he fumbled quickly to like hurry up and turn it off, but he was watching porn in a room full of underage teenagers. So
Good.
yeah.
Ooh.
There you go.
That's always that.
Nikki popping in for, wholesome content.
At least that person was self-conscious about it. I was in class with people who just watched hentai in class and didn't give a shit.
Yeah. I knew people that would like draw shit, and I'd just be like, "Yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just like drawing shit. Like, why are you doing this in front of everybody?"
Fred says he had an IT lesson once where someone sent porn to the teacher through an email and it was on the projector screen.
Oh,
I've done that.
I'm sure you have, Monopolis. You degenerate.
Teacher,
See,
the
I never
teacher
knew anybody in my school.
appreciated it.
I never knew anybody in my school who did that, nor did I try to do that either. I'm sure there was somebody, there were kids doing stupid shit in there, but I never saw anything like that before.
I just did it accidentally because I usually have that shit like saved in a folder, and I just had something in my downloads, like near where I had an important file, so I just accidentally sent them porno.
Jeez.
Damn it, Monopolis. And that's why he's on a list.
I'm on several lists.
He's on the do not call list.
My favorite holiday is coming up in like 6 days, boys. It's almost
Hell
here.
yeah.
Hanukkah?
The day after Halloween, discount candy day.
Of course.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm a cheap bastard when it comes to shit like that.
Oh my god. Sarah in the chat, she says, I remember once before Christmas break we had a pep rally and right in the middle some dude starts streaking through the gym and everyone started cracking up after I later found out he got caught.
Yeah, streakers usually get caught. It's one of those blaze of glory type situations. There's very
Might as
few
well
legends that have not been
Might as well
caught.
go balls out, if you'll pardon the expression.
Yeah. I'm
He's on
pissed.
the don't let in the UK list.
They've started calling anybody that runs out into the middle of sporting events streakers. I'm like, no. If you're not in the buff, you're not. You got to be naked, or you're not a streaker. Like, you don't just give that title away, man.
If there's no meat stick in the wind, you're not a streaker.
Or mud flaps, whatever. It's got to be something. You can't just be like in a fucking costume and be like, oh, the streaker has hit the field. It's like, no, this is just a runner. All right.
He's just a very enthusiastic sports fan.
Yeah. This is a clout chaser.
He's chasing something, that's for sure.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed.
He's going for jail.
Yeah. Pretty much. So Blink 182 doing their world tour, and it turns out to get tickets to their show, you got to be a goddamn multi-millionaire. I was looking at shit seats that were over $1,000, and I'm just like, have y'all heard them live? This is not what you think it's going to be. I'm sorry to tell you. Not that good live. Haven't been since like 2001.
Are they just like trying to milk their shit for all it's worth now, and
Uh,
just like as a last?
Mark
Well, they are,
Hoppus
they're doing a
beat
good job of it.
Mark Hoppus beat cancer. So the last time they got back together, Travis Barker survived a plane crash.
Oh yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
And this time, Mark Hoppus survived cancer. He had some pretty bad cancer. And now he's clean of it. So it's like every time there's a huge tragedy, they'll get back together for a few years, because I guess it just, the mortality of their situation fucking hits them, and they're like, oh, I would really not like to end this way. Let's do some more shit before we fucking die.
Yeah. No, I can
Fred
see
says
that.
some bands suck live.
Yeah, dude, some bands suck live, and it's the ones that you would never expect that are really, really fucking good. Like, I don't listen to Disturbed on a daily basis. I don't plan on it ever in my life. But those motherfuckers kick ass live. You know?
Really? You
Oh,
think so?
fuck yeah, dude. Have you heard them live?
I thought they were boring as shit. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
but do you
vocally,
think that their music normally is boring as shit?
Yes, but I still think like it sounds all right. The thing is, it's not necessarily the sound with Disturbed that I'm against. It's more just David Draymond standing there like a sack of potatoes.
Oh, their stage presence.
Yeah, their stage presence is absolute fucking dog shit.
I'm talking
but
about
their
the sound.
Yeah, their
Like,
sound is.
they sound exactly like they sound on the record live.
Yeah.
And a lot of bands don't, and it's worse. It's like they sound way fucking worse. Somebody who's a great live entertainer and also sounds incredible on stage is Les Claypool. You know,
Oh, dude.
he's a hell of a
That's what just
showman.
makes it up as you go along.
Yeah, well, not really. He's fucking incredible. And Slayer was fucking, you know. But here's the thing: if it weren't for like pyrotechnics and the fucking shit floating around the stage and all that, Slayer would probably be boring too, because they just stand there. Because it's kind of hard to play all that shit not just standing there.
Yeah, that's true. Except for Kerry King, he just goes fucking.
Right.
And David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
But that guy, yeah, Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys, dude, he was out in the crowd, fucking crowd surfing and shit in his 60s. That motherfucker's crazy. You know, the Descendants, I don't know if you fuck with them, but they're in their late 50s, early 60s, and they still put on a hell of a show.
Nice.
And sound
says-
great.
Fred says Kiss sounds better live for some reason. Kiss, I think, is the only band that I can think of that sounds the same as they do in studio as they do live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a fucking generic rock band.
Yeah, exactly.
I really fucking hate Kiss for the sole fact of when I saw them before I heard them, and I was like, oh my god, these guys look wicked. And then I heard them and I was like, is this the fucking Beatles? Like, why do you guys look like fucking nightmare creatures and then your songs sound like they're on a Coca-Cola commercial? I don't understand.
Yeah, and also Gene Simmons is just a bit of a fucking twat.
I mean, this was before I knew anything about him personally. This was just as a kid, because I heard the first metal band I ever heard was Metallica,
Yeah.
and then Marilyn Manson and some other shit, and I was just like very disappointed when I heard Kiss.
Yeah, going from Metallica to Kiss, that's a
I've never
downgrade.
seen them live, but there's plenty of live DVDs and fucking. See, that's the thing. I know that their stage show is supposed to be second to none. which would be an incredible experience.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all know what happens when you take a group full of fucked up people and show them shiny objects. Like, they're going to think it's the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah in the chat saying, "Can you imagine seeing Huey Lewis in the news live? That would be awesome." Well, let me tell you, Sarah, it's hit the fuck bees.
Yeah. I love that part in Borat. I got the tape. Huey Lewis. Cassette
Borat
tape.
says, "You like Huey Lewis in the news?" And
Yeah.
then fucking Axis.
Paul.
There was
My wife.
there was an announcement that he's going to be a bad guy in the MCU.
Who, Borat?
Yeah, the Sacha Baron Cohen.
Nice.
And somebody took the "I going to America" clip from Borat and then put him in the DC or the character's outfit and it's like, "I going to the MCU." He's grabbing the wagon.
You see the meme of like King Julian is like, "Mort got us in a fucking car wreck and I can no longer move it.
No. He can never stop moving it and moving it.
He's not allowed to.
He's not allowed. That's a perpetual motion for all time.
Now, does anyone else have the heebie-jeebies? No? Good. So shut up.
Yeah, that's a great character. Dude, I'm disappointed in like Disney Plus and all this shit. All the fucking streaming services suck right now.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
Lineup is god awful.
they have everybody's money right now and they're just like, hee hee hee. This is why we got away from cable, you bastards.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like how YouTube turned out. It's like people went to that to escape TV, and now they're making it more like TV. And the same thing with streaming services. They didn't want to be like TV, now they're becoming more like TV. It's like, God damn it, we don't want TV anymore.
Yeah.
Keep that shit away.
One of the worst things ever is like commercials on streaming services. I'm like, we got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Chester was
Dog.
right.
I just want to see a 30-second meme video. Stop putting unskippable 15-second ads on it. Swear to Christ.
Okay, yeah, here's something I agree with Sarah here. She says, as far as the MCU, I think I'm pretty much tired of superhero movies and looking for something new. Fucking same, man. Like, every other movie is like a superhero movie. I'm just like, give us something new, goddammit. It's
Well-
so hard to think of, like, new, not entirely original, but just, like, new ideas that either haven't been in theaters for a long time or just ones you don't see very often.
I don't think that if things were done differently, I don't think that it would be as big of a problem as it is. They've gotten these like fucking, I don't know why, dude, because you know they dump so much money into these fucking things.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you making this shit about characters that nobody has asked for? Why, like, there are so many badass Marvel and DC characters that are out there that they're just like, oh, we're going to make the fucking, what was it? Just take She-Hulk, for example. Is She-Hulk the worst character? No. Is it at the top of anybody's fucking list? Like, anybody's list, is She-Hulk up there? No. Same can be said for Moon Knight. I loved Moon Knight. Moon Knight was great. But there was nobody that was like, we have got to have Moon Knight on this, you know, a live action Moon Knight. When you have shit like, do you know how awesome a live action Daredevil series would be? Or not Daredevil, but Ghost Rider?
Oh yeah.
Or the fucking Midnight Suns, where they have like fucking Wolverine and Daredevil and Blade and all these fucking characters going after some mega threat, you know, that's like a mythical evil. I mean, there's like so many different things that they could do, but instead they make fucking shows about people like, you know, Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Well, that's what I liked about the old Ultimate Alliance games that came out a while ago. Because like you could just choose your own Marvel heroes and you could just act that out yourself. That
Yeah,
was a fun part of that
which
game.
is great, but that's, you know, a video game. There's been tons of good Marvel video games throughout the years. But like when it comes to live action adaptations, they went from taking the ultimate main like awesome characters and building this huge reputation for putting out good shit. And then just as soon as like fucking it's pandering, as soon as the pandering machine gets a hold of it, it's just like the Eternals? Who asked for a movie about the fucking Eternals? Literally nobody. Literally nobody. You could poll minority groups and be like, hey, did you want this? They'd be like, no. Give us Blade. What?
Like, who are you? Get the fuck out of my house.
I don't know, man. Just for me, in my opinion, it's not the superhero movies' problem. It's that they keep making ones that nobody gives a fuck about at all.
Yeah. Like, well, people said Ant-Man was good for some reason.
I mean, sure, but again, yeah, he's an Avenger. Okay. That's his claim to fame. Not that people like him. That's not his claim to fame. His claim to fame isn't that he's Wolverine. You know? And then you've got all this shit going on with the fucking DC, and they're just like so obsessed with Harley Quinn. There's been enough Harley Quinn shit over the past 5 years to last a lifetime. Like, we don't need any more of that shit. Suicide Squad worked once, and they're like, oh, it's like, no, dude. Or it didn't work once. They wanted to redo it again. It's like, no, it fucked up the first time. Just move on. Like, could you imagine if they did a good Batman Beyond movie? Or if they did a good Nightwing movie? You know, there are so many things that they could do with Batman shit. And instead, they're just like, let's keep failing at the same fucking thing. Oh, the Joker worked once? Let's just make the Joker too. And it's like, let's hope it's good. If not, then you've just taken your opportunity where you hit something out of the park, and instead of doing different, more engaging shit, you're rinse, wash, and repeat, just like you do every fucking time until it doesn't work and you ruin a franchise.
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do with a Joker 2? Like,
I know. It ended
Joker was a
perfectly.
character study.
Yeah, it was the same as like a one-off fucking dark novel.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Just leave it there. That's fine.
They had an idea, they executed it fully. It was just a character study
Mhm.
about this fucking dude, and that was it. What the fuck? Oh, it made money. Make a sequel.
No,
Fuck you.
it may very well be good, and that's all well and good, but it can
Yeah.
only be so good for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The whole thing with the Black Adam situation, like, I don't know what they're going to do past this one, but they got to bring in Kazam, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that situation, he should have been there to begin with. But, The Rock had to have his own movie and his own franchise. It's like, okay, dude.
As if he didn't have enough already.
He's the highest paid actor in Hollywood. He's made over $5 billion with his fucking movies. So, who am I to say anything?
Well, hey, have you guys seen that new Velma trailer?
No.
Oh god.
Nino has.
Oh.
Yeah. I saw Moist Critical react to it, and he's just like, what is the fucking point of this? Like, because what it is, they made Velma Indian, because I think, like, the main writer is Indian on there.
Okay.
They made Shaggy black for some reason, and the whole trailer is just like, it's just basically she's just reciting Twitter stuff. That's basically all the trailer is there.
The whole show is just going to be self-insert fan fiction, and it is deliberately made to annoy people that enjoy the original source material.
Yeah. And
That's
it's
it.
like, that happens so many times where people just want to have their own kind of fiction based off a certain property. It's like, why not just make your own original stories? Like, why do you have to keep stealing from us? If you want to have your own representation, make your own representation on yours. Quit
Well,
doing this shit
it's
that
not
we're-
even that, because it exists. They don't even have to make it. Do you know how many super talented people of all different races, religions, creeds, sexual orientations, and identities that there are? The gatekeeping starts at, we know that this makes money, so we're only going to give the ball to this certain franchise. Now, in order to act like we're inclusive, we'll change and tokenize all the characters in this franchise to suit this idea. But that's bigoted because they could give opportunities to creators that are from those identities. But instead, they don't have faith in these people of color to create their own shit. That's the truth. If they did, you would see brand new franchises with all these representations included because they exist and they're created by people who represent those fucking groups. So it's super racist to actually say, no, the only way that we can represent these people is not with their own work, but by injecting them into these previously established franchises. That's bullshit, man. Because, I mean, look around, man. If you go through all these different fucking the youth writers and shit that have come out over the past 20 years, there's tons of diversity in that. There's tons of diversity in people who create web comics and fucking skits and shit on fucking YouTube and everything for all these various different things. And they're all super talented, super reputable in their own communities. But big companies like Amazon and Warner Brothers and shit like that don't go out and try to find new talent. They just try to reuse properties that they bought over the past 15 years. And that's the thing that sucks about all these things getting sold out. Because they spent so much money on this shit that they have to use it. You know? So it's really fucked up, this whole situation. And it's gone to prove that they would not be doing these things to these properties if they weren't trying to get the dollar from those marginalized groups. The real shady practice is the fact that they're pretending like they're on the sides of these people so that they can garner support from them and take their money.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to.
So these people who are championing and parading all these things as a success are really the people who are paying for it, not only with their identities that they act so protective of, but with their money.
Yeah. And I'd like to think that if you were going to be represented, you'd want to be represented in an actually well-written fucking way.
Yeah, in like the best way possible, but most of the representation that these people push out is just like, this is what you want?
Well, not even necessarily like best, quote unquote, but just like well written. Just like written like actual characters.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, here is the black, here is the Asian.
Yeah, like with that shit, they don't realize that that's racist by just saying like, oh, there's a black character in here, you're racist if you don't like it. Like, no, you're racist because you're not giving them a good enough character arc.
Exactly.
You think that just because they're black, they deserve to be in here? Like, what the fuck do they do?
And then there is the
like
and then there is the false racism that they pretend like exists for characters like the third sister on Obi-Wan Kenobi. I never saw a single person bitch about her in the whole franchise. Not one time was anybody like, this woman's ruining the show. They were just like, this show's written poorly. That's all I heard.
Yeah,
and I think she did a good job. And then you had people like Ewan McGregor and all these other actors from the show putting out this shit being like, there's no room for hate in our galaxy. We will stand beside her as she goes through this, and there's this big attack on her. There was never proof that that happened. There was never any like, oh, this message was over the line. Or, you know, I went through all the comments and shit on all these various things and never saw any fucking trashing of the show. I never saw anybody directly throwing any shade at her in general. It was just this manufactured fucking, we're not going to stand for bigotry campaign. But there was no bigotry to be found. It's become a marketing ploy to act like a show is under attack.
Yeah. Like, oh, look at this show that these crazy conservatards don't want you to watch. Shut up. Yeah. Shut up.
No, sometimes shows are just bad. It has nothing to do with anything other than that.
Exactly. Yeah. Your show sucks ass. Your characters are horribly written. Your animation's terrible. Inconsistent.
Looking at you, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you brought up that there, it reminded me of like TNT's version of Shrek 1 and 2. That how much they cut out of there. Apparently what they told me, what my older brother told me about Shrek 2 is that they apparently swapped the voice of like that bartender lady who like sounds like a man or whatnot.
Yeah.
They made her sound more like a woman because apparently she was offensive to trans people. Like, I didn't fucking think so. I just thought it was a dumb joke they put in there. Like, there wasn't anything harmful about that, I don't think.
And who's to say that that wasn't a someone in drag What's wrong with drag representation? I mean, drag queens have been a staple of fucking nightlife all over the place forever.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny himself did more drag than anyone else in the
Yeah.
industry.
Oh my god, dude, Bugs Bunny in a dress? Mmm.
Shrek 2 doing it? Fuck no.
Yeah. I like my town with a little drop of poison.
He can get into my bedroom and be like, "Yeah, what's up, cock?"
Oh no.
And stick his finger up my booty hole, and he'll be like, "I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque."
Man, you've really thought this through.
That's the worst thing. I just pulled this out of my ass.
Was that another Bugs
else
Bunny
is there?
reference?
Bugs Bunny.
Oh my god. So I've noticed a trend here recently in video games where it's like everything will look awesome, people will be on board with it, and then it comes out and there's one thing that they don't like, and it becomes the pariah of all fucking releases. Like the game hadn't even come out yet, and Gotham Knights got bashed for having 30 FPS.
Really?
Just native 30 FPS. Now I have heard that it is totally bullshit and the game's not good. People have compared it to the Avengers game, which is not good. Oh, see, the first story, Gotham Knights didn't just kill Batman, it also killed Gotham. Jesus. It's got a 3.4 star rating. I mean, ING gave it a 5 out of 10, Metacritic 69%, Steam 6 out of 10. That doesn't seem like the worst fucking game ever to me.
Yeah.
Just saw your
sounds
comment in the
average.
chat, and Bugs can get it and you won't stop me. God damn it.
Jesus. I'm not on board with the $70 price tag, though.
No, fuck that.
Not at all.
That is a big step in replicating the famous video game Crash.
Yeah,
It's one of the big ones.
I'm not about it.
Yeah.
I'm not about it at all.
Well,
I
speaking
wonder
of games, we were actually talking about the whole Bayonetta 3 thing before the stream started.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Yeah.
to catch people up to speed on that, in case you haven't heard about it, the original voice actors for Bayonetta, Helena Taylor, made a claim on Twitter, a long claim on Twitter, that she was not paid a reasonable amount for voicing Bayonetta 3. She said that the final rate she got for the whole game was $4,000. And a couple days later, they came up with the receipts with somebody who was in negotiations with Helena Taylor, who's saying that it wasn't $4,000 for the whole game, it was $4,000 per session, like per hour. Right? And they did offer $10,000 at one point. And
15.
And basically, she threw shade at Jennifer Hale, who took over Bayonetta's role, who really had nothing to do with it. Like, Jennifer Hale was just a bystander in that whole situation. She's just like, I'm just trying to do my job here, man. Like, you guys can resolve this peacefully, but I'm not part of this. Just. But the biggest thing that kind of set it off that I found in there was Hideki Kamiya, who is a well-known asshole on Twitter, who's just like,
My boy.
was just
My
like,
boy.
beware of my rules. There's just, apparently, he blocks anybody who speaks English on Twitter.
Yes, he does.
That's funny as
Blocks
hell.
just blocks a lot of people.
Yeah. If
He
you
actually got his
repeat a
account-
question, if you talk in English, if you ask him a stupid question, anything, any reason, he blocks you.
Yeah, he apparently got his account temporarily disabled because of that too, because he blocked so many people at once.
Yeah, he got it back though.
Yeah.
Speaking of people unhinged on Twitter, have you guys followed all the crazy Adam Sessler shit that's gone on?
I don't even know who that is.
He was a host of G4 TV back in the day.
I know G4, yeah.
Yeah, he was the bald guy that was on
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And his Twitter handle right now says it's called, let's see, where is he? Adam Sessler is his Twitter handle, so that's nice. On his little description, it says, "Still woke, not broke." What a champion. What a champion for the lot.
I beg
Well-
to differ in a few weeks.
As Moist Critical once said, woke means absolutely nothing these days.
That's also very true.
And
And just Fred said in the chat, this is why I stay away from the social media.
Yeah.
he went on a rant about Appalachian people, saying that we
Not
were
the
all
Appalachian.
right-leaning conservatives that just fucking pretty much sucked off our bosses and bent to the will of whatever we were told.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, no, bro. Like, we literally caused the only fucking war against pretty much the government by people. Like, the first uprising, actually, where they dropped arms and ammunition on fucking civilians back in the day because we wouldn't bow down to our bosses. So, it's kind of not true in the
If it's
slightest.
any consolation, people shit talk my state too. Michael Johnson on Twitter, he was just sharing a clip of me. He's like, Thomas, if you see this, I'm sorry. It's just a clip of some stream guy going like, "What the fuck is wrong with Ohio, man? It's like Florida of the Northeast." I'm like, great, another person shit talking my state. So there aren't enough of those.
We're all screwed, man. Every state that touches Kentucky just gets infected by it. That's what happens. I blame Kentucky for everything.
Make that a hashtag. Hashtag I blame Kentucky.
I do. I
And then all
blame
the
Kentucky.
People get bad like, how dare you, sir?
Okay. Proof in case here, right? Think about the states that touch Kentucky and their reputation according to that. Virginia, where I'm from, Tennessee, West Virginia, Ohio. Like, those states are known as not too other than West Virginia. They're just their own fucking thing. But all those other states get a little bit of that Kentucky energy, and it goes a long way. You know? I think Ohio gets it the worst because they touch Kentucky a lot. They're the Kentucky touchers.
I don't touch them.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Isn't Ohio in general just kind of, at least Cleveland, I hear, is kind of just a shithole in general?
Well, yes, Cleveland is a shithole, but where I'm at, it's actually pretty decent.
It's where the dude from Hustler founded Hustler, so there's that.
Yo.
But yeah, Cleveland does something else. And Ohio is for lovers, man. You know, that's where one of the biggest emo bands of all time came from, Hawthorne Heights.
Come on
No
down
clue.
to Cleveland town, everyone.
You
Under
don't-
construction since 1868.
You don't know Ohio is for lovers?
Never heard of it.
It's like, cut my wrist and black my eyes. Cut my wrist and black my eyes. So I can fall asleep tonight.
One of those.
You know
I have a
you
friend
kill
that was,
me.
like, way into
You
this
know
shit,
you do. You kill me well. You like it too, and I can tell. You never stop until my final breath is gone. It's MySpace time.
Well, I also blame the Paul brothers for why people hate Ohio. Because they're from there.
Uh-oh, Shorty and Nikki are wrestling in there. I can hear him going, "Rah, rah, rah."
They're just two little drops in a bucket.
Well, they've
Especially
made
for-
quite a
Oh.
fucking impact.
Yeah, two very big splashes, but
God, I hated those emo days. Because I was still in the like, no, dick jokes and fart jokes and skateboarding. Why are you guys sad? And then all of my favorite skateboarding bands were just like Green Day was the worst, dude. I know Blink-182 did it too, but they were still telling dick jokes. But wake me up when September ends. I'm just like, I'm sorry your dad died, dude. But like, you don't have to ruin everyone else's life also. You know, it just becomes so sad and so dreary. And I'm just like, no, break shit.
Yeah.
Set shit on fire. Let's get drunk and
I
urinate
really-
outside.
really wanted to be a metalhead back in those days, but every chick around me was emo and had bright colored hair, so I was like, oh, I want to fuck that.
Nowadays women still have bright colored hair, but they're fucking
Yeah, they're not like the emo days.
Well,
Them bitches were different.
back in the day, you could like tell what people were into based on their fashion style.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
you'll have
easily.
like a chick who's like dressed up as if she were some emo like Elvira wannabe. Like it was like, what kind of music are you into? Trippy Young Red, bro. Like fucking Joji. Imagine Dragons. It's like, dude, your outfit screams the Smiths. What are you doing? That don't work. You're the wrong kind of type here. You got the wrong advertisement up here for your personality. And it's just because it's like, what do I think looks cool that I saw on the internet? I'm going to dress up like that and then go listen to Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Like people have their own ways of dressing.
Well, it's like, I see all these people like, who was this? I can't remember this guy's name. But there was a guy, he dresses like fucking Sid Vicious. I think his name is Youngblood or something like that, the artist.
Oh, yeah.
And then you listen to his shit and it's like a high-pitched corpse husband. Like slut rap music pretty much. Like male Kesha type shit. And I'm just like, you dressed like fucking God Save the Queen and you sound like you are the fucking queen. Like,
Rap for himbos.
oh, dude, it bothers me so much.
Yeah.
That's my culture, right? That's where I grew up with punk rock music, and I still play in punk rock bands, and then I see just the look used for whatever.
Oh, dude, you must be pretty pissed at MGK, too, for sliding into their style.
Well,
Like,
that's
first
the
he gets
thing.
bullied out of hip-hop, and now he has to get bullied out of rock and punk.
That's the thing. He, like, people think that that's pop punk now.
Exactly. That's the thing.
They don't say, oh, he's faking it and he's a loser. They just think he's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, it's every decade, right? There's this agreed memory loss that takes place. And then people who are like 16 and 17 refuse to acknowledge that anything ever happened before they got on the planet. The only things that have happened while they've been alive. So they'll have these innovators that are selling them repackaged ideas. Like MGK and pop punk is the same as what Billy Idol did to punk, right? He just threw on the outfit and then put out some pop music, and people were like, oh, Billy Idol is punk. Refusing to acknowledge the fucking Clash and the Sex Pistols that had just happened 10 years prior.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, the fucking 5 seconds of summer bullshit is more pop punk than MGK. Because he started throwing trap beats underneath pop punk music. And it's like, no, that's something else. You can call that, like, pop trap, and that's fine. But stop labeling it pop punk, because guess what? That already exists. No Effects, Sum 41, Blink 182, all of that shit was pop punk. All the way back, that's not even where it started, that's kind of where it ended. Right? You had shit like the Buzzcocks way back in the 70s that were pop punk, and it still sounds like the shit that was happening in the 90s. That's why it's the same fucking genre.
Yeah.
Remember the only time I listened to Sum 41 was like when I was like really young, and my cousin had like a Sum 41 CD, and I listened to it on like a SpongeBob CD player.
Yeah. Ba-na-na-no, 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 ba-na-na-no. That shit was so funny. I remember my grandmother getting so mad about one part in that song where it's like, the doctor said my mom should have had an abortion. Like, right before the chorus kicked in. I don't want to waste my time, become another casualty of society, I'll never fall in line. But the abortion line got my grandma, dude. She was like, that's where I'm drawing the line. You can listen to that on your headphones, but you're not playing that in my car. And I was like, damn, I just upset the G unit? Shit. Yeah. Do y'all remember when, like, Eminem called out Will Smith because Will Smith went on and accepted that fucking award, and he was like, I've been in this game for years, and I'm out here selling records and getting these awards, and I don't have to use obscenities, I don't have to use violence in my music to get here.
Yeah, that's right.
the next
literally slapped Chris Rock.
the next yeah, right, 20, 30 years later, here he is. But and Eminem hasn't laid hands on anybody. And Eminem's song, he went, Will Smith
don't got a cuss in his
raps to sell records. Well, I do.
But I do.
So fuck him and fuck you too. Think I give a damn about a Grammy? Half of you critics can't even stomach me, let alone stand me. What if I win?
What if you win?
Wouldn't that be weird?
Why? So you can
Yeah.
fly to get me here, so you can sit me here next to Britney Spears. Yeah.
Yeah. He went in over that, dude. And it's just like, that moment in Will Smith's career is such a pivotal thing because he was on the way out,
Yeah.
but was on top. And to me, it's so funny because Eminem was like, had barely made it, and who knew what the fucking life expectancy on his career was going to be. At that point, he could have very well been Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Okay. Fred says, my sister was obsessed with Good Charlotte back in the day.
I liked Lifetimes of the Rich and the Famous, and then after that album, I was over it. I
Old
think
School
it was
Fall
The
Out
Young
Boy
and the
was pretty
Hopeless was the name of that album.
But Old School Fall Out Boy was pretty good too.
See, that's where our generational gap meets, because for me, like, Fall Out Boy was right when everything started going bad, because Taking Back Sunday had just had their major fucking moment in the sun, and then anybody that sounded like them got signed. Fall Out Boy was one of those. And they had a good single with that, Sugar, we're going down swinging, I'll be your number one with the bullet. You know, and
There's also Where is your boy tonight? I hope he is a gentleman.
oh yeah,
Maybe he won't find out what I know. You were the last good thing about this part of town.
yeah,
I like that one.
yeah. They
Yeah, Fred agrees with me. That
they went, and it happened to Linkin Park during that time period. It happened to every band that had a little bit of buzz during that time period. They just took those bands, no matter what genre they were coming from, and just injected the super pop straight in the vein, dude. Like, even fucking Linkin Park. And I was like, whoa. It started in like 2011, 2012. It got worse, and we've seen the fucking turd roll downhill ever since.
Exactly.
I mean, just super pop. Not just overproduced, but with like the fucking clap hands shit and all that. Like, oh. Yeah.
Well, there's one group that I managed to get my dad into recently. It kind of it's reminiscent of old like 70s rock. It's called Rival Sons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I managed to get him hooked on that. We were doing some garage projects recently.
That's what's up. It's always cool when you can turn people on to new music.
Yeah. It's not always easy.
No, people seem to brush off most musical suggestions for whatever reason. That used to be how I learned about every music that I fucking enjoyed. Was just one of my homies would be like, check this out. You know?
Well, where I found out about Rival Sons was apparently the beginning of this game that was notorious for being shitty on the 360. It's called Ride to Hell Retribution. They used their song Pressure in Time at the beginning of that game. And I was like, the song actually sounds pretty fucking awesome. Who wrote this?
Yeah. I've learned of some pretty interesting songs through skateboarding games. A lot of badass songs.
There are a lot of those fucking old songs in there.
Dude.
That's where I heard Dead Kennedys for the first time.
Yeah, those guys are fucking sick, dude. What about
soundtracks were on fire.
What about EA's what was it? Skater, SK8ER. They had some really good songs on there. They had one, I can't remember the name of the band, but the song was Fear of Girls. It's like fear of girls, Fear of girls, I don't know what they'll do to me. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's the most incel song of all time.
Jesus.
Fred says his favorite band is 3 Inches of Blood, and he found it through Saints Row 2.
Yeah,
Dude,
Saints
3
Row
Inches
had
of
some
Blood
cool
goes
songs.
hard.
Then Saints Row 4 had that intro where it's like, I don't want to miss a thing.
Oh yeah,
I think Deadly Sinners is on the Underground 2 soundtrack.
hell
That's
yeah.
a fucking great track from them.
What about CKY? How many people learned about CKY through Tony Hawk?
Oh yeah, dude.
That shit was so hard.
What about Flogging Molly?
Oh yeah.
Cause we find ourselves in the same old mess, singing drunken lullabies.
Pretty much.
I don't remember that.
You never
Those
heard of
Drunken
them?
Lullabies?
I don't think I did. No.
The fucking Irish rock group?
Yeah. You should definitely check them out.
Sure.
Definitely. If you're into that kind of shit.
Fuck yeah.
But hey, we're almost to the hour mark.
But
Final
I think I'm the only
statements?
person in the family. Well, as always, be sure to share this stream around with your friends and family and whatnot. And also, Halloween is going to be coming up in the next couple of days.
It's true.
Be sure to keep yourselves safe, but most importantly, with any holiday, have fun with it.
Oh yeah. And Monopolis?
Stay safe. Don't do too many drugs, unless they're really good.
Then don't do too many of them. Still.
Exactly. Yeah.
Slip them in your dad's coffee.
Oh no. Hey, thanks guys for hanging out. Always good chatting with you fellas. Appreciate everybody that hung out, chatting with us. Fred, sticking it out for the long haul. We appreciate you, dude. Good to see everybody. And yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a stream. You got any streams coming up, Thomas?
I've been trying to, but I've been having an issue with my laptop where it's
Okay.
like, it keeps like overheating, and then it's like my computer just completely shuts off. Like,
Community game night Thursday. We're doing Jackbox Party Pack. So that'll be tomorrow.
Hey.
And we'll kick y'all's ass. That's the way it goes.
Oh, we'll see about